Stavros Tousios for M4Markets. We're going to close the week with euro dollar and also pound against dollar. Euro dollar divergence on the RSI, and we've started moving up. It can be considered as a 5 move up, a correction, and supposedly there will be a new impulse starting. However, I have trouble seeing this as an actual impulse, unless if we assume this as some sort of truncation, which will make this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which would suggest, of course, there is potential for further upside. Also, of course, if we take into account that there is RSI divergence as we go up, not convergence rather than divergence. Now, the typical thing to do is to draw a channel from the bottoms, connecting the two bottoms and the first top, and we are looking for either a move towards to the upside of that channel or a move towards the median line initially of that channel. Of course, breaking above, let me just put that back there, would open the door to the 83.50, perhaps even 909. Breaking below, we'll have a first support at 107.4, swing low, and then below that we'll go to the high activity bid, potential bids, of course, at 106.93. The 100 Fibonacci extension of that first leg comes up to around 108.13, which is a level where we, if surpassed, then the chances of that being a reversal are going to increase. Sometimes we get extended corrections, which is a potential case that we have to take into consideration here as well, especially if we get somewhat of a deeper correction, perhaps even to 110. And then from there, of course, if we get that rejection at the bottom of the channel, we can start looking for signals that might indicate or suggest that there is, of course, a potential reversal to the downside. Of course, that is after we go and correct to that channel top, if we go up as high. Now, when it comes to pound, the move to the upside is a little bit different. That looks like an open wedge, okay? And that looks like a correction. That also looks like a correction though, and that is what increases a little bit the chances of either a consolidation, perhaps even a full-blown move to the downside, if we fail to go up to retest that channel top. Of course, there is the scenario that, this is going to kind of rise to the upside, and by rising above the overbought 72.60 or so, will also break the current divergence that we see that signals downside. Okay, because this is what we see, and this is the difference with euro dollar. Euro dollar has convergence, pound dollar has divergence. Okay, and pound also looks a bit more corrective from the low all the way up, whereas euro doesn't. Similar to the previous exercise, this is the channel that we draw, and again we'll look for the top, or to the downside we'll look for 125, then 124.59 or so, and then of course we'll go down to the bottom of that channel. To the extension, of course, as we look here, the 100 comes around 126.10. okay, and this is of course a potential correction, as I said before, that would get us very close to the previous top, like probably 80% correction or so. Yeah, around 80% correction. When markets correct that much, is either we get a triangle or some sort of sideways market. Okay, so the triangle would be something like this, which would indicate, of course, there is most likely to be further upside rather than downside, unless if this is the first leg to the downside, then we're going to get something like a triangle, and then we'll break lower down. So yeah, the short term, I think in both cases is going to give us quite of few signals that we can use to take advantage of either the upside or the downside.